Hello and welcome to my house. My name's Adam and I'm a full-time reseller. Come along inside and I'll give you a tour of my warehouse.
What's up, guys? Welcome back into another episode of MPtv Cribs, where we tour resellers' warehouses and their inventory systems. I obviously can't tour everyone's warehouse in person as people are all over the country. I don't have that kind of budget yet. So we're doing some virtual tours and I'm going to let my buddy Adam take it over today. Yes, he's got a great name, by the way. And this should be a really good one because he is a big Amazon FBA seller, as well as he dabbles a little bit in the eBay game as well. But I think it will be really cool to show you guys what an Amazon FBA seller goes through, what their system and everything looks like. So without further ado, I'll let Adam take it away.
I have been full-time for a few months now. I've been doing this for a year and a half. Primarily, we do Amazon with a little bit of eBay, so we're a little bit different than some of the other guys on the Cribs episodes in that case. Our office space is set up more for Amazon FBA. We're bringing high volume in and moving high volume out weekly, so we need the space opened up and being able to process orders very quickly. With Amazon FBA, I don't have to store the inventory. It's all getting brought in and shipped to Amazon. So there's not as much storage of inventory, but there's a lot more room for processing inventory. So if you want to follow along with me, I'll just give you a tour of our space. So the first area, whenever you come in, is we have a workstation set up here for shipping. This computer here is where we do all of our shipping from. We also do all of our Amazon shipments from this computer. It has barcode scanner hooked to it. Has both of our label printers, our FBA SKU, and our mailing label printer hooked to it. As you can see in this area, we have our scale, our tape guns, and our roll for our bubble wrap. All that is in one area. So primarily our Amazon side, we're doing mostly FBA. So we don't process a lot of FBM orders. Depending upon the time of year, we do more. No matter if it's an FBM order or if it's an eBay order, we pull it, bring it into this area, and this is where we will pack it out and ship it. As you can see, we store boxes here of different sizes. These are just plain boxes and bubble mailers. Our priority boxes are underneath and some larger boxes. Primarily everything that we use the most of is going to be in this one area, right in our shipping area. As we move along here, there's a large scale here that I use. This is primarily whenever we're doing our FBA shipments. We use this large scale for the big boxes. Makes it easier to sit it on. I can read it while the box is sitting on it, so I can fill the box to get it to 50 pounds or as close as possible. And then we would set the orders here and label them. As we move across here, this is just a storage area for extra poly bags. So with Amazon, a lot of what we're doing is multi-packs or different items that need poly bag because they're going into the Amazon warehouse. So we have all different sizes available in that. In this area here, this is all of our overflow storage. We also have like our heat gun and like our Goo Gone and stuff like that all in this area. Now on top of that, we have a mobile cart. This cart is full of all of the same poly bags. The reason behind the cart is basically we have all of our poly bags in here. We also have our stickers, our grippers, all of that kind of stuff in this drawer. The nice thing about this cart is the way we have our setup, as you can see, we have a FBA shipment ready to go out right now, or to be processed to go out. With this cart, I can roll this cart anywhere in here along this and work on a shipment. And I have everything I need right there within hand's reach. So it makes it a lot more efficient. I'm not walking back and forth. I'm not grabbing stuff over here and carrying it over there. Everything is right there with me. So I can literally start at one end of the table and work my way down, label everything, and then do the same thing for packing it and shipping it. The biggest thing with our setup is basically trying to be as efficient as possible. Also, our setup is geared to having more than one person. At this time, I do this myself, but I'm working on bringing on an employee here soon. So I want everything here to be universal, where I can do it or somebody else can do it, and it's all done the same way and it's easily done. We recycle all of our materials, so airbags, brown paper, whatever comes in any shipments that we get in, we keep all of that, use that in our eBay orders or anything else we might have. As we work our way down here, as you can see, these tables and our entire setup is made to be universal. So I can flip-flop this setup where I can be processing Amazon, or I can flip it and I can be processing a ton of eBay listings. Either way, this space is versatile for both of those. So as you can see, the tables are full of stuff to go to Amazon right now. As we work our way down here, This corner here is just some random stuff that we just purchased that needs listed on eBay. Haven't got to listing that yet. There's also some stuff under the tables and boxes that's all unlisted eBay inventory. As we work our way down to the corner, we have 2 shelving units in this area. Primarily in this area, most of this stuff, a little bit of this stuff is going to be listed on Amazon FBA. There's a little bit of overflow eBay stuff in this area too. This shelving unit here, as you can see, there's some health and beauty products here. A lot of this is hazmat stuff. We only have so much hazmat storage with Amazon, so a lot of this we have to ship out ourselves. So this is hazmat items, and then up top here is going to be all of our unprocessed Amazon returns. That comes in from Amazon FBA or FBM as a return, goes in that shelving area, and then we process it as we have time. As we work our way across here, this is just my main desk area. So this is where I do all my listing and all of that kind of stuff, sourcing and everything like that. Have a nice big monitor, can run 2 or 3 screens at the same time, depending on what I'm doing. It allows all of this work to be done on one screen. It's really nice and much more efficient. The reason for the 2 computer system is, like I mentioned, we plan on bringing an employee in soon. So this way I can work in this area, the employee can work in that area, listing and packing and shipping, and we can both be working at the same time. Like I said, we do eBay. We just started growing the eBay side of the business. So this is my picture area. This backdrop we use right here would be for anything that we can sit on that backdrop. This is where we list our shoes and all those things. I have these lights sitting here out of the way right now, but normally I would set them up in front of this. The nice thing about this setup is I can slide over here and take the pictures and slide right back over to the computer and do my listing. So I can actually just keep going back and forth between all of it. It's all in one area, including the inventory sitting behind us on the tables ready to list. If I'm doing clothing items, I do have a tilt set up. It is up against the wall right now. Just slide this stuff out of the way. This is Velcroed up, pull it off, set that tilt setup up, and we can list all the clothing, all from one area. The biggest thing for me is, because we do more Amazon than we do eBay, I like to have it so it's very versatile. I can tear this down and use this table for Amazon if I have to. So I want it to be able to be changed. As far as the eBay side of the business, we started last year on eBay a little bit, opened a store, mainly just processing my Amazon returns on there. This year in February, whenever I decided I was going to go full time, I started researching it a little bit and decided to start buying inventory for eBay. We've built that up from about 50 listings to about 700. It's only July now, so pretty quickly. For my eBay stuff, I do use a SKU system. I basically just started at 1 and I work my way all the way up. I keep it all on a spreadsheet. That's how I keep track of my costs and all of that stuff. So any item that comes in gets numbered. If it's big stuff like shoes or anything like that, it gets put on shelves, and then it'll be marked in our eBay store as shelf and then the corresponding number. Anything else, loose shoes, clothing, hats, any of that, I have these totes here. This is how I store everything else. The reason for the tote system is I've moved this setup 3 times now since we've started because we've outgrown our space, and I anticipate having to move it all again. So the nicest thing about the totes is I can put it in the totes and I can move it anywhere, either out of the house or wherever I need to move it very quickly. So every tote is lettered. Some of them are lettered and numbered depending on where they're at in the system. Everything in the tote, no matter what it is going to have a number on it. One thing we do a little different with our loose stuff, we come from the Amazon side, so we're used to polybagging stuff. So what I do is I polybag every pair of loose shoes or any clothing items that go in these totes. They're already clear polybagged. I actually set them up just like this because I could literally take this out of there, slide it into a priority mail shoebox, and ship it. No questions asked, everything's ready to go, and it's sealed in here, clean, it's not gonna get beat up, it's ready to go. That also allows me to put my number on it. So in these totes, we have all of the shoes stacked in these totes and numbered. So whenever something sells on eBay, it'll pop up and tell me the tote number and the item number. Literally go pull the tote, pull the item out of the tote, and put it in a box and ship it. The same thing pertains to clothing. Same setup. Clothing items are the same way. They get numbered and they get polybagged, every item, and put into a tote system. The tote system and the numbering system takes a little bit of extra time. But the biggest thing I want is I want my system to be efficient to where if I'm not here and I'm not shipping it and I'm paying an employee to do it, they can ship this or I can ship this. No matter what, that tote and the number is very easy for anybody to figure out. I don't have to say, well, I know I put it in this tote if I'm not here. So everything I set up was thinking towards the future of having an employee. They can walk in the morning, they can write down a list of items that need shipped, go find the totes, pull the items, bring them in here and process them as quickly as possible. The one thing I've learned doing this for as long as I've been doing this now is efficiency is the biggest thing. Right now, this time of year, we're not super crazy busy with orders going out. It's been pretty decent, but it's gonna pick up. We know last year we got buried in Q4 and we anticipate it this year. So everything that we've done here with this space was in anticipation of moving way more inventory. If you want to go with me, I will take you over and show you the storage room for all of our eBay inventory. Okay, so this is our main storage area for our eBay inventory. Like I said, we use the SKU system and the tote system. So as you can see beside me, these are all the totes, just like I showed in the office there. These are all full of clothes and shoes and hats, all numbered, all lettered, so they're easy to find. This is the most efficient system I could find that makes it easily movable. On top of that, this is our shelving system here. These are all of our shoes that are in boxes. So all the shoes in boxes are numbered the same way. On top of being numbered, they're organized by brand and then by number. So they're super easy for anybody to just walk in here and pull any of those shoes that would happen to sell on eBay. Thank you for coming along with me on my warehouse tour. I just wanted to take a moment to kind of introduce myself a little bit more and tell you a little bit more about my business. Like I mentioned before, my name is Adam. Our YouTube channel is Arbitrage Garage, and I am a full-time reseller. I started this last February, so a little bit over 16 months into this at this point. At that time, I was working a full-time job, 50, 60 hours a week, and I started this on the side. The reason we started was just trying to make a little bit of side money, a little side income. Stumbled across the whole Amazon thing and decided to kind of just jump in and try it. I've always been one that kind of just jumped in with both feet and just tried it to see how it would work. So I didn't do a lot of research beforehand, kind of learned everything I know by doing and making mistakes along the way. Last year we did about $200,000 in gross sales on Amazon. We also do eBay, but eBay is kind of like a side part of our business. Last year we did a couple thousand on eBay, mainly just doing Amazon returns and that kind of stuff. This year we added a little bit more to eBay. We're buying for eBay this year, so we're about $30,000 in sales so far on eBay this year, and we've only really been scaling that for a few months now. Amazon sales this year are over 300,000, over about 550,000 lifetime sales on both platforms at this point. We are definitely still scaling our business. We kind of just jumped in and just kept moving, kept scaling it along the way, and we're not slowing down anytime soon. Got some pretty high goals. We had a goal of $500,000 for this year total. We're well over 300,000 at this point, halfway through the year, so we're actually bumping that goal to $750,000 between both platforms. Next year we'd like to grow it to about 1.5 million, and we would like to get to about 3 million total in sales per year is where I'd like to be. Like I said, at this point I'm running it by myself full-time. Been doing it for a few months full-time now, but we did scale it pretty big, about $50,000 a month part-time. So it is possible, even working a full-time job, to do this and earn an income from it. And like I said, at this point we are getting ready to ramp up a little bit. We're talking about adding an employee to let us expand a little bit more. Also, warehouse space wise, we don't have a lot of room down there. We use it as efficiently as we possibly can, but we are running out of space. So next year we are lucky enough to have some property that we live on here out in the country, so we're looking to either build onto the end of the house or build a standalone warehouse for the business. So those plans are being worked on right now. I would say for beginners, my biggest advice would be don't get discouraged. Amazon or eBay, neither of them are super easy. Amazon's a little more intimidating than eBay is, I would say. There's a lot of things you need to learn and ungating and things like that, and IPs and stuff like that. It can be a discouraging platform. I say start slow and work your way up, build it up, learn from your mistakes, do more of what makes you money and less of what loses you money, would be my advice. And another thing is set goals for yourself. I think that was a big thing for us, is like at first we just wanted to have a sale, and then maybe we wanted to do 1,000 a month and 5,000 a month, and now we're to the point where we're setting yearly goals that we want to hit. I think that gives you something to achieve and something to strive for, and makes you push yourself to go to that next level. Another thing I would say is one of the biggest mistakes I made early on was not tracking my profits and my costs accurately. I think whenever you first start, if you've never run a business, you don't really know how to do it. I mean, I learned all this by doing it. So definitely start tracking your stuff and pay attention. Like, are you really making money or are you losing money on this object? Just looking at the charts on Amazon and the nice yellow sales graphs and stuff don't tell the whole story. Just because you have 20,000 in sales, if your net profit is 1%, you're not making very much money. So I think keeping track of that, watching your nets and doing more of what's making you money is the best way to do it. Watching your returns and things like that. Another thing is stay organized. Now that can go both ways as far as your receipts and your expenses and all that stuff. Keep that organized, but also your inventory. For me, organization is key. I have my system set up so that it's as efficient as possible. I want to be able to walk in there, pull my orders and get them out as quickly as I can and move on to the next task that I have, whether that be sourcing or packing shipments or anything like that. I also want it to be so that other people can use my system and do it if I'm not there. So I think starting when you're small with organization makes a huge difference, because then when you get to scale, you're not trying to play catch up. I know at this point, if I was trying to set up an organization system, it would be a nightmare with how much I have.
Thank you all so much for joining us, Adams, on this tour. If you have any further questions for Adam, feel free to drop them down below. He's actually going to be coming on my podcast, All About Profit. It is a live podcast, so you guys can actually ask any questions that you want to him, and I will make sure that he answers all of the questions that you guys ask down below. And also, first link in the description, make sure you guys are subscribed to him at Arbitrage Garage.
Thank you again for coming along on our warehouse tour. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Arbitrage Garage, for some more Amazon FBA content. And don't forget, there's profit to be made everywhere. Let's go get it. You're gonna have to go. I need to get these packages off to the post office.
Yeah, I'm gonna take my horse to the old town road. I'm gonna
grab a range, Dad. Okay, all right, Dad, hold her like that. Yeah, just hold her like that. Do your dominant hand.
So I need to fix my stirrup. Whoa. Hey, whoa.
Why aren't you backing up?
See that?
You can't.
Thank you for coming along. Wait, stop. Thank you for coming. Ah, stop. Thank you for coming. Whoa.